One of the relationship curses of living in the modern age is that we have created the standard of perfection within relationships that has simply never existed. And I've been as guilty of this as anybody else, right? We have these laundry lists of every single expectation we have of the person that is going to be worthy of us in a relationship. We have all these physical attributes. They got to have, this type of body and that type of lifestyle and this going on. And also they got to have this and this and this. They got to be 17 different types of people all in one. And the thing that we oftentimes neglect or fail to realize is that these expectations come from somewhere. They are conditioned into us because we're saturated with imagery. Everywhere we go, we are seeing the quote unquote perfect relationship, the quote unquote perfect partner, what the person's supposed to look like, the type of person they're supposed to be. And we have all these conflicting images. It's like, I want the lawyer, but I also want a dope boy. I want them to be both. What? You want the dude who's putting the dude into prison as well as the dude who's going to prison? Like, you want both? It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. I want the chick who, she's, she throws it back, but she's also modest. I want the chick who's half naked, but she's also fully clothed. That doesn't work. These are two different archetypes. And yet we find ourselves forever looking for this image of perfection that does not exist, and it ruins relationships before they even start. More people end up not getting into the relationship that would be best for them because of how shallow we've become. And that's something that most do not want to face. There is a level of shallowness within our generation when it comes to relationships that I believe have never existed before. If you go back into beauty standards before the advent of television, before the advent of, this kind of mass distribution of content, movies, TV, whatever sort of programming, commercials, you will see that there was a very different standard of what was valued within a partner. You wanted somebody that you could build with, that you could rely on. What are their morals, their values, integrity, character? I mean, you can even say early shows, right? Leave It a Beaver and Father Knows Best or whatever it is. There was a certain moral compass that it was coming from. Unfortunately, it was this man, but the Cosby Show, right? Even as recently as the 80s, somebody who was living trifling as hell and deserves to be in that damn cell. But nevertheless, the imagery that was being shown was one of family, was one of the children in the household, was one of having a certain relationship dynamic within that household. And yet we have denigrated and degenerated. It's like, you could go on that show and say, well, I mean, Miss Huxtable was, she was a very pretty lady. She was a beautiful lady. But it wasn't, damn, oh, she's a thickie, she's a this, she's a baddie. She's got the damn flappers on her eyelashes. She got the extendos on the extendos. You understand me? She got the lace fronts and the glued on baby hairs. Like, it wasn't any of that. She was a woman. She was a woman, respectable, honorable. She had morals, integrities. You understand me? I don't want to talk about Bill because he was portraying a complete different image on that screen. But nevertheless, we had a different value system. And so when we're going into relationships, we're vetting for something different. We're not vetting for, well, does he got a six pack and is he 6 feet? And I saw a girl, she put on X. She said, if a dude is under 5'11", you get to spray him with Raid. I said, wow. I said, oh, you about to be in a heap of trouble. And mind you, she was a lady, she was a little bigger. And I said, okay, so that's the equivalent of a dude saying, if you're a chick and you are overweight, then a dude gets to sculpt you. He gets to bring the damn, pliers and get to cutting away. He get to chisel you. Spraying Raid, then we get to chisel that fat off. But that's not the point. I digress. My point being, we've gotten to a place where these superficial markers are the things that we fixate upon. And this is not to say that there are not external things that matter, right? But to quote somebody who left a comment on one of my more recent videos, this is somebody who's been married since, I think, 84, 85, I believe they said. And, they were essentially expressing how when it's all said and done, that body is going to change. That body is going to change. So even if you get all that splat out, right? Yes, attraction is an important aspect of a relationship. Absolutely. But when that is the focal point of a relationship and you need that to be, in a very certain aesthetic, whatever it is, all of that's going to go at some point. So what are you going to do? Just hop to the next? You going to do the the Leonardo DiCaprio, and just find you another 25 and a 25 and a 25 and a 25? Is that what you're going to do? You will live miserably. You see how that brother's aging right there? That's not just the Diddy and the oil. I'm telling you that. That boy is aging because of stress, aging because there's no sense of stability there. There are unresolved issues going on internally. And so we really have to start introspecting about why it is that we have the values that we have. Why do I want what I want? When you see some of these videos of these young ladies, who are asked, do you want a man who makes 500,000 and, is a straight edge dude, is a doctor, lawyer, whatever it is, or a dope boy making, 5 million, 10 million. It's, oh, I want the dope boy. I want the dope boy. I want the dope boy. And this is, I can't say it's all, because I know a multitude of women. They're in my comment section, they're in my videos, they watch this content, and they are righteous, they're modest, you understand me? They're relationship centric. Some of them married, already got their families going, some of them younger, older, but that's their priorities. But there's still such a large group of individuals because of the mass conditioning, the mass programming, right? The way in which they cultivate the sheep, where the mentality is so damn shallow and so off kilter, and it's so skewed. You would rather lay up with somebody who is likely to either just leave you and the child completely, or is going to end up incarcerated or end up in a box in the ground just because they get to the bag and because they got a few chains on, a few gold teeth in, or whatever the hell they got going on nowadays. And that's what is there? What's there? What is there? There is no relationship there. There's nothing about who the person is, let alone how they're going to treat you in the context of that relationship. There's nothing about what is the person's actual moral compass. Well, actually, there is something about the moral compass. It's the fact that they don't have one, that anything goes. A thief is a liar is a killer. You understand me? A person who's willing to just lie through anything is willing to steal. A person who's willing to steal is willing to take a life if quote unquote need be. So that person's morals are corrupted. What is this? Does this person have a level of integrity about them? Right? Does their word match with their action? Oh, no, you ain't looking at that. You don't give a damn about that, right? You just want to make sure that the body is blah. And again, I got a beautiful woman and she's been blessed in multitudes of ways. But I'll be damned if she wasn't somebody of such high integrity and character. These are the things that stand out to me. These are the things that mean anything to me, you see. Everything else is to the wayside. Everything else is secondary. If you do not have integrity, if I can't trust you because you can't even trust yourself, you're not an honorable individual. A serious man or a serious woman is not going to be checking for you. A lot of these women out here talking about where's the good men at? Hiding from you, maybe. They might be hiding from you. Where the good women at? God is protecting them from you because you might be a demon. That's where they're at. And if you get skipped over by a demon, that's a blessing. There is no perfection in a relationship. There only is a perfecting of the relationship. You better the relationship. You work on the relationship. You add to it, and it's going to be work, and there's going to be trials and tribulations in the midst of that relationship. There's going to be times in which you want to quit. And then this generation, they're teaching kids, if it's not working out, you just leave. Just like the jobs. You got 3 months in, leave. Quiet quit. Folks will be in a relationship and just fizzle out. What's the point? Why even get into the relationship in the first place? If you're not going to value this relationship, you're not actually going to create a courtship. And we're told, oh, well, in this generation, there is no courting, there is no that, because you continue to perpetuate the very same foolishness. That's what that's about. There's going to be at least one person out there that is going to want the very thing that you want. But if you say, well, if they're doing this out there in the world, then I'm just going to do the same thing. Like your grandmama used to say, if they jump off a bridge, would you jump off that same bridge? Just because everybody else is doing it? Because everybody else is, quote unquote, everybody else is cheating, which everybody else is not cheating. That's a projection of a cheater. A person who cheat, they believe everybody else is doing it. Well, if everybody else is doing it, you're going to do it? No. You have your own moral compass. You move in your own way, and you will attract the people who are just like you. If you truly stand in what you stand in, then you will find yourself aligned with those individuals and able to actually receive what those individuals have to give and able to give what those individuals are able to receive. Somebody who's open to giving and receiving love, you will find that person when you become that yourself. But again, this looking for perfection, and many people will be in their broken state looking for perfection in order to perfect them. It don't work that way, boo-boo. It don't work that way. You have to introspect. You have to do the inner work. You have to check yourself. Your relationship is only going to be as good as the two key pieces in it, which is you and them. So if you yourself feel like you're at a deficit, you're lacking something is off kilter, your relationship ain't going to work out. If you're not ready to receive love and you can't give love, and the other person is able to do both, you guys are unequally yoked. You guys are not leveled. You guys are not having the same relationship, and you will find ways to either sabotage it, or it will just disintegrate, or it will be this off kilter. You'll be pissed off in a relationship like that. Like if you don't have integrity and you have somebody who has integrity and holds that standard for themselves and others, you will suffer in that relationship if you ain't ready for it. You will suffer in that relationship. So they talking about you can't turn a pro into a housewife. It's true. You can't do it. If they're ever going to be that, they have to do it. You cannot do it. They have to do it. They have to choose a different lifestyle to cleanse themselves and to go soul searching in order to get out of that, to get them spirits off of them, to get them soul ties clipped. Otherwise, they're going to be dragging that very same entity or that very same dense low vibration. They're going to be bringing that with them everywhere they go. There is no perfect relationship, y'all. There is no perfect relationship. It does not exist, and it should not exist. And that's not the point of relationship. The point of relationship is not to satisfy and gratify your own feelings of internal lack. You see some folk, they walk around with their dude like he's a trophy. Don't even like the dude, just dragging him around. Look up at him, guys. Look, he's 6'6", got a six pack, got 6 figures up. Look at my trophy. Don't even have a relationship with dude, but he looks good on their arm, so he makes them feel complete. She's fine. She's thick. She got this going on. She got the lace front, the baby hair. She got all that. Man, look at this. Dragging her through the building. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that's him. Oh, he's him. You want to be validated by everybody else when your relationship is lacking any life. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. There is no perfection in a relationship. There is only perfecting the relationship, working on your relationship, which comes from working on oneself, on continuing to venture forward in correcting aspects within ourselves, that need to be adjusted. Being honest. It's like relationships are one of these few spaces in our life where we think we don't have to do a damn thing. We ain't got to fix nothing. I'm perfect. I come as I am. If you don't accept me as what I am right here, right now, then you don't deserve me. Okay, when you get that job, you go and get the degree. You spend 4 years in school, maybe an extra 2 to get your master's. Then you get the certifications. Then you go to the extra classes. Then you go through the training. You go through all of that to get the job. But when it comes to one of the most vital aspects, probably the most vital aspect of your life outside of your own well-being is that relationship. You're not willing to invest in that relationship. That's crazy. That's ludicrous. We need to do better, folks. We need to do better.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a hardening heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 365, that's a